Kufa is a city in Iraq, about 170 kilometers south of Baghdad, and 10 kilometers northeast of Najaf. It is located on the banks of the Euphrates River. The estimated population in 2003 was 110,000. Along with Samarra, Karbala, Kadamiyya and Najaf, Kufa is one of 5 Iraqi cities that are of great importance to Shiite Muslims. The city was the final capital of Ali ibn Abu Talib, and was founded during 639 AD and 17 Hijra by the second Rashidun Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab. It is also related that Muslims after conquest of al-Madain were searching to have a suitable place for habitation. Likewise others, Salman and Hudhayfah bin al-Yaman, were also looking for, just choosing the land they offered prayers there. Since that day the foundation of Kufa had taken place. The city contains the Great Mosque of Kufa, one of the earliest mosques in Islam, built in the 7th century. The town has produced several Shiite Muslim scholars. History of al-Kūfah. Caliph Umar's era. The Arabs, led by Caliph Umar ibn Khattab, conquered Iraq and began ruling Shuristan around 637. Umar, who assigned the land of the Jews in Arabia to his warriors, ordered the relocation of the Jews of Khaybar to a strip of land in Kufa in 640. Founded by Sa'di under the directions of Caliph Umar ibn Khattab. Umar ibn Khattab became the second caliph in 634. After the Arab victory against the East Roman Empire at Battle of Yarmouk in 636, Kufa was founded and given its name in 637-638 CE, about the same time as Basra. The companion of the Prophet Sa'di ibn Abi Waqqas founded it as an encampment adjacent to the Lakhmid Arab city of Al-Hira, and incorporated it as a city of 7 divisions. Non-Arabs knew the city under alternate names, Hira and Aqwa, before the consolidations of Abd al-Malik in 691. Sa'di deposed in the 640s. The Kufan commons agitated that the Caliph Umar's governor was distributing the spoils of war unfairly. In 642 Umar summoned Sa'di to Medina with his accusers. Despite finding Sa'd to be innocent, Umar deposed Sa'di to avert ill feelings. At first, Umar appointed Amr ibn Yazir and secondly Basra's first governor Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, but the Kufan instigators accepted neither. Umar and the Kufans finally agreed on al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah. Caliph Uthman ibn Affan era governor Walid. Following Umar's death, his successor Uthman replaced Mughira with Walid ibn Uqba in 645. While this was going on, the Arabs were continuing their conquest of western Persia under Uthman ibn Hakam from Tawaj. But late in the 640s these forces suffered setbacks. Governor Abu Musa Uthman in 650 reorganized the Iranian frontier. Both Basra and Kufa received new governors, and the east came under Basra's command while north of that remained under Kufa's. The few but noticeable troublemakers in Kufa sought in 654 and had Sa'd deposed Sa'id and instead showed satisfaction with the return of Abu Musa, which Uthman approved, seeking to please all. Kufa remained a source of instigations, albeit from a minority. In 656, when the Egyptian instigators, in cooperation with those in Kufa, marched onto the Caliph Uthman in Medina, Abu Musa counseled the instigators to no avail. Imam Ali's era. Capital of Imam Ali, the rightful successor of the Holy Prophet upon Uthman's assassination by rebels. Governor Abu Musa attempted to restore a non-violent atmosphere in Kufa. The Muslims in Medina and elsewhere supported the right of Ali ibn Abu Talib to the caliphate. In order to manage the military frontiers more efficiently, Ali shifted the capital from Medina to Kufa. The people of Syria and the governor, Muawiyah, who seized the caliphate for himself and his family by using the confusion caused by the assassination of Caliph Uthman and being disturbed by the brutal assassination of the Caliph Uthman. demanded retribution. As Muawiyah mounted his campaign to hold Ali responsible for the murder of Uthman, factions developed. In an already emotionally charged atmosphere, Muawiyah's refusal to give allegiance to Ali as the caliph without Ali avenging Uthman first eventually led to war. While praying in the great mosque of Kufa, Ali was attacked by the Khawarij Abd al-Rahman ibn Muljam. He was wounded by Ibn Muljam's poison-coated sword while prostrating in the Fajr prayer. Caliph Muawiyah's era governor Ziyad Muawiyah appointed Ziyad ibn Abihi as the governor of Kufa. After the death of Mu'firah in Kufa and of Hassan in Medina, some, such as Hujr ibn Adi, who were previously unhappy with Hassan's peace treaty with Muawiyah, now became increasingly noticeable, creating a movement of rebellion against yet another caliph. The new governor, Ziyad ibn Abihi, was equally firm and up to the challenge posed by the rebels among the Kufans. Umayyad era revolts throughout the Umayyad era, as was the case since the inception of the city by Umar ibn Khattab. There were those among Kufa's inhabitants who were rebellious against the ruling caliph, be that Ali himself or an Umayyad caliph. Kufans turned to Husayn ibn Ali, grandson of the Prophet, as their leader after the death of Muawiyah. But Yazid, the self-proclaimed caliph, formed an army which massacred Husayn ibn Ali and his family and companions in the Battle of Karbala. With a history of assassinations, rebellions were dealt with firmly, such as those by al-Mukhtar. Many Kufans also supported the mutiny of Abd al-Rahman ibn Muhammad ibn Asharath in 699–702 against al-Hajjaj, but were defeated by al-Hajjaj. Some say, the governors of Kufa or Basra, from Ziyad ibn Abihi to his son, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, to al-Hajjaj, were understandably firm given the frequent uprisings and assassinations. However, it cannot be denied that al-Hajjaj, and before him, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad ibn Abihi, were indeed very severe, and even cruel, against the rebels of Kufa, especially in Basra to a lesser extent. Abbasid era in 749, the Abbasids under al-Hasan ibn Qutbah took Kufa and made it their capital. In 762, they moved their seat to Baghdad. Under the Umayyad and early Abbasid decades, Kufa's importance gradually shifted from caliphal politics to Islamic theory and practice. Kufa in Islamic theology and scholarship. Wael Halak notes that, by contrast with Medina and to a lesser extent Syria, in Iraq there was no unbroken Muslim or Ishmaelite population dating back to the Prophet Muhammad's time. Therefore, Maliki appeals to the practice of the community could not apply. Instead, the people of Iraq relied upon those companions of the Muhammad who settled there, and upon such factions from the Hijaz whom they respected most. A primary founder of a Sunni school of thought, Abu Hanifa, was a Kufan who had supported the Zaydi revolt in the 730s, and his jurisprudence was systematized and defended against non-Iraqi rivals by other Kufans, such as al-Shaybani. Shirazi, disambiguation needed, Tabakat, which Halak labels an important early biographical work dedicated to jurists, covered 84 towering figures of Islamic jurisprudence, to which Kufa provided 20. It was therefore a center surpassed only by Medina, although Basra came close. Kufans could claim that the more prominent of Muhammad's companions had called that city home. Not only Ibn Abu Waqas, Abu Musa, and Ali, but also Abdallah ibn Masud, Salman the Persian, Umayyah ibn Yazid, and Huzayfa ibn Yaman. Among its jurists prior to Abu Hanifa, Halak singles out Said ibn Jubair, Ibrahim al-Nakhai, and Hamad ibn Abi Sulayman, and considers Amir al-Shabi a pioneer in the science of judicial precedent. Additionally, Shia imams like Muhammad al-Baqir and his son Jafar al-Sadiq made decisions from Medina that contributed to the law of Kufa, and to this day Shiite law follows their example. Abu Hanifa too learnt from al-Baqir and especially al-Sadiq. As a result, while Hanafi school is doctrinally Sunni, in practical terms Hanafi law is closer to Imami law than either is to the other schools of jurisprudence, i.e., of Malik, Shafi'i, and Ibn Hanbal. Kufa was also among the first centers of Quranic interpretation, which Kufans credited to the exegeter Mujahid. It further recorded general traditions as hadith. In the 9th century, Yahya ibn Abd al-Hamid al-Himani compiled many of these into a musnad. Given Kufa's opposition to Damascus, Kufan traditionists had their own take on Umayyad history. The historian Abu Mikhnaf al-Azdi compiled their accounts into a rival history, which became popular under Abbasid rule. This history does not survive, but later historians like Tabari quoted from it extensively. Kufa is also where the Kufic script was developed, the earliest script of the Arabic language. As the scholar al-Kalkashandi maintained, the Arabic script, Khat, is the one which is now known as Kufic. From it evolved all the present hands. The Angular script, which later came to be known as Kufic, had its origin about a century earlier than the founding of the town of Kufa. According to Moritz in the Encyclopedia of Islam, the Kufic script was derived from one of the four pre-Islamic Arabic scripts, the one called al-Hira, al-Makki and al-Madani. The famous author of the Kitab al-Fihrist, an index of Arabic books, Ibn al-Nadim, was the first to use the word Kufic to characterize this script, which reached a state of decorative perfection in the 8th century. When surahs were used to decorate ceramics, for representations of nature were strictly forbidden under the Islamic regime. In the first decades of Islam, Kufa was prominent in literacy and politics. It was founded before Uthman, and it was opposed to the central authorities of Medina and Damascus. From the perspective of 8th century CE Medina and Damascus, Kufa was associated with variant readings and interpretations of the Quran, typically in the name of Ibn Mas'ud, and often read from the pulpit as if they were part of the Quran itself. It became said that Uthman had sent an exemplar of the text to Kufa, but that it was burnt during the wars of Mu'tah, and Ibn Zubair al-Hajjaj restored, or at any rate promulgated, the standard text under Abd al-Malik, castigating even the memory of Abdallah ibn Mas'ud as Ibn Abd. But a faction in Kufa preserved the readings of Abdallah ibn Mas'ud, whence Mujahid and his fellow mujtahids compiled them, along with other readings and interpretations. From there these readings entered the vast repository of Near Eastern hadith, ultimately to be written down into collections of hadith and tafsir. Post-Abbasid history, Kufa began to come under constant attack in the 11th century and eventually shrunk and lost its importance. Over the last century, the population of Kufa has begun to grow again. It continues to be an important pilgrimage site for Shiite Muslims. Presently, Kufa and Najaf have joined into a single urban area that is mostly commonly known to the outside world simply as Najaf. Shia sites. The Great Mosque of Kufa, or Masjid al-Kūfah, or Masjid al-Amazam, located in Kufa, Iraq, is one of the earliest mosques in Islam. It was constructed in the middle of the 7th century after the Caliph Omar established the city. The mosque contains the remains of Muslim ibn Aqil, first cousin of Husayn ibn Ali, his companion Hani ibn Urwa, and the revolutionary Mu'tah al-Thaqafi. Masjid al-Kūfah in Kufa, Iraq, contains the tombs of Muslim ibn Aqil, Hani ibn Urwa, and Mu'tah al-Thaqafi. The mosque also contains many important sites relating to the prophets and Ali, including the place where he was fatally struck on the head while in sujud, the tomb of Zayd ibn Ali in Kufa, Iraq. Masjid al-Hanana in Kufa, Iraq, contains some of the skin of Husayn ibn Ali which was ripped off of him post-mortem by the aggressors of Karbala. The house of Ali in Kufa, Iraq. Tomb of Maitham at Tamar in Kufa, Iraq. Tomb of Kumail ibn Ziyad in Kufa, Iraq. The final Imam, considered to be alive and in occultation, has the Masjid al-Salah associated with him. People related to Kufa: Ali ibn Abi Talib, governor; Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib, Battle of Karbala; Yaqub ibn Ishaq al-Kandai, theologian; Abu Hanifa; Sufyan al-Thawri; Alqama ibn Qais; Dawood al-Zahiri; Abdallah ibn Masud; Abdallah ibn Amir Hadrami; al-Aswad ibn Yazid; Masruq ibn al-Ajda. Bibliography: Crone, Patricia. Roman, Provincial and Islamic Law. The Origins of the Islamic Patronate. Cambridge University Press. Paperback ed. 2002. Halleck, Wale. The Origins and Evolution of Islamic Law. Cambridge University Press. 2005. Halting, Gerald R. The First Dynasty of Islam. Routledge. 2nd ed. 2000. Hines, Martin. Studies in Early Islamic History. Darwin Press, 1997. Hoyland, Robert G. Seeing Islam as Others Saw It. Darwin Press, 1998.